Hi, I'm Diane Dayton, and welcome to Behind the Lines. You know, there's a lot of excitement about manufacturing, and Mantec is here to tell us about that, too. So we have, let's see, first of all, we have Bruce Newell. You are the president and you are the CEO. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Cindy Moses, your strategic partnership specialist. Thank you for being here, too.
Thank you.
So for those who don't know, really, what is Mantec, Bruce?
So Mantec is a non-for-profit business advisory service. So we were created in 1988. Governor Casey at the time actually wrote into legislation the industrial resource centers, and we are one of 7 industrial resource centers in Pennsylvania. Our role is to support small to medium-sized manufacturers in everything in their business. We like to say we help them with top line, bottom line, and pipeline. So we are here to support those small to medium-sized manufacturers and really any manufacturer in 9 counties across South Central PA.
Wow.
Lancaster is one of our 2 largest counties for activity.
When you say small to medium, what size are you talking about?
So that is defined officially either under 500 employees or under $1 billion in sales. So it's a pretty large group. It represents over 90% of the manufacturing sector as a whole.
Wow, that covers so much, doesn't it? I mean, it's almost overwhelming when you think about it, right?
Well, there's over 3,000 of those just in the 9 counties in South Central Pennsylvania. So to give you some scope of...
Well, that does give... I know my mind's going, what? So your mission really is what?
Our mission statement is to accelerate manufacturing excellence. So if we were to take a look at it through our mission statement, it is really to make sure we are helping those manufacturers strive and thrive and compete locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally on a worldwide basis. So that our role is to help them in their business, on their business, to compete on a worldwide basis.
Yeah. Well, if we want to look at some manufacturing stats in Lancaster, expound more on that.
It's a manufacturing heavy region, which is exciting. So if you were to look at it, people think of this county as being very agricultural.
Yeah.
And certainly there's a lot of that, and you can drive through the county and see some beautiful scenery. But manufacturing is the #1 contributor to GDP in the county. It has twice the employment percentage as the national average. National average is under 9%. It's closer to 18% here in Lancaster County. So it is and it is the #1 contributor to wages in the county. So if we look at it as what drives the county, manufacturing is the #1 driver in the key sectors, which is employment and wages. Wow.
I mean, when you look at that, that has a huge impact on everything.
Absolutely. And manufacturing in particular, a lot of innovation in manufacturing and productivity gains. And productivity drives GDP and GDP drives wages. That's why you see that 17-18% of employment, but 23-24% of wages. You see that outsized impact that manufacturing has. And it drives so much in the way of technology, innovation, adoption of technology, implementation of technology. You know, we probably all have a smartphone.
Yes.
And there's a lot of high tech in there, but every component within that phone is manufactured. The glass, the chips, the casings, the plastic, the covers. So it's just integrated into every portion of our lives.
Yeah. Excitement we're talking about. So reshoring.
It's a focus right now of the national administration, but we are kind of living in a pre-COVID, post-COVID world.
Right.
And so I would say that the pandemic, without a doubt, highlighted some, what happens to your supply chain when it is X thousands of miles away over how many continents?
Yes.
And so there's been a lot of both national exposure, but even at the individual firm level, evaluating that supply chain, evaluating the critical needs, evaluating defense, evaluating what we should be doing here. What is the risk mitigation, or what risk are we taking on by having so much outsourcing? So you're definitely seeing some retrenching to bring some things back on shore, to provide for more local supply chains, provide that critical infrastructure. In some cases in the defense industry, a great example is 80% of the antibiotics used in the United States are produced not in the United States. And you think about that the #1 user of antibiotics in the United States is the Department of Defense. So here we are with our troops having antibiotics not made by necessarily a friendly neighbor. So yeah, it's an evaluation of everything that should be done to get product to an end user. So you're seeing more and more of it, and we're seeing we're definitely seeing that trend. We're seeing more things made. We've had pharmaceutical and high tech move right into South Central PA in the last year or two. You're seeing businesses expand their product lines to bring things back in onshore that weren't here just 3-4 years ago. I think the pandemic drove a lot of it, and I think it's a trend that will continue for quite some time.
So there's growth here in this area with this.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
67 counties in the Commonwealth, and 5 of the fastest growing are in South Central Pennsylvania. So the state is contracting. I mean, if you look at our electoral votes over, census, you'll see that we're dropping every time there seems to be an election, but not here. Here we're growing, and I would say manufacturing is one of the key drivers of that growth. It's not the only one. Healthcare is also growing, agriculture is growing, but manufacturing is definitely pulling its fair share.
What do you attribute that to here?
I think, I'm a fan of history in general, and I don't think you escape kind of your roots, and it's just rooted in this region going all the way back to kind of original, you're going back 1600s, even pre-industrial revolution. You had tool makers and engineering. I mean, you've had it kind of in the DNA almost, is the best way I can say it. So when you have those skills, they tend to pass down generationally, and they tend to be valued. So what you value, you teach. So you see places like Thaddeus Stevens that are teaching it. You see some great trade schools in the area that teach it. So it's valued here because of its centuries-old history of making things. This at one point was one of the largest producers for the colonies, if you go back that far. So I just think there's a long lineage in history, and therefore it's valued. And since it's valued, it's kind of treasured, and we tend to cultivate and manage the things we treasure. And I think manufacturing and making things is something that's really valued here.
Yeah, and I think, Cindy, we talk about getting younger people involved. And I mean, at the middle school age level, I mean, that's key, isn't it?
It really is, because they're just at the point where they're starting to understand careers and need to make high school decisions on courses and if they're going to go to CTC or what track they're going to go. And a lot of them don't have any experience of what the word manufacturing actually means. They drive by buildings with no windows and they don't know what's going on in there. And so we're really trying to build our programming to help the future. We're in the pipeline, making children aware that it's a possibility and a very lucrative one.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about that too, because we are at the station airing something that I think is really important to watch. But getting back to some of this too, some high-paying jobs too.
Absolutely. I'm not going to give the exact number because I don't want to be wrong, but the average manufacturing wage is substantially higher than the average wage. I mean, if just anecdotally, I don't know of any of our clients that have anyone in the building making less than $50,000 a year, and that would be your unskilled, person. So, there's a lot of focus in schools on STEM, and honestly, I think manufacturers need to do a better job of getting out there and making sure people understand that STEM is integral to manufacturing. If you go into a machine shop, you're going to see more computers and lasers and robots, and you're going to see all this high-tech stuff that's being worked on.
Yeah.
So these are high-value skills, high-value trades, so engineering, sciences, mathematics, all those STEM fields, they're integral to manufacturing. And look, those skills are highly valued and paid for. And the skilled trades, too. I mean, a welder, oh my goodness. I mean, a welder is going to make one heck of we like to say family-sustaining jobs. And I don't know of any job inside of a manufacturer that's not a family-sustaining job. And I think even more, in fact, I don't even like to use the term jobs. I prefer career paths.
Right.
Because even if you start in a manufacturer, let's say with the proverbial sweeping the floor person, they have a pathway for you to get other places. These employers want to invest in your education, they want to invest in your skills, they want to invest in you, and they can give you that 5-year picture of, okay, you're here and here's where you're going to be in 3, 4, 5 years. And these are fantastic jobs. Manufacturing used to be dirty dirty, dangerous. What was
Yeah.
it? Dark, dirty, dangerous. That is gone. If it's not gone, if it's not extinct, it's endangered for sure.
Okay.
And you own these firms now, and they are clean. Some of them have clean rooms. I mean, you're literally putting on, looks like a biosuit, just to work inside a clean room to do analysis of things. They're clean facilities. They're well lit. They're well climate controlled. They're great teams. It is not dark, dirty, and dangerous. It's clean and exciting and vibrant and well paying.
Yeah, these are some of the misconceptions
Absolutely.
that we're trying to get rid of.
Yes.
You have a website as well, right?
Yes. www.mantec.org.
What will we find there?
Oh, you'll find
Everything.
You'll find everything that we do for
Okay.
employers in the region. So you'll see our training. We offer a ton of training in lean and marketing, leadership. So you'll see our different programs that we're going to talk about later, I'm sure. You'll see all the areas in which we do business and who we do it with.
Yeah, well, that's very exciting, and we have a lot more exciting things to talk about. So we're going to take a brief pause. Stay with us. You're watching Lancaster Community TV, LCTV 66. Welcome back to Behind the Lines, and we're talking about the exciting manufacturing industry. And we have with us Bruce and Cindy. We have them from Mantec. Now, there's some challenges, and it's understanding what manufacturing really is, so you're addressing that too. And the challenges with youth and understanding that, and so that we can get individuals, into this. So if we talk about business advisory services.
So Mantec has 4 central services that we offer across the board: sales and marketing, process improvement, manufacturing technology, and workforce engagement. So if you were to look inside of each one of those pillars, you'd see a variety of different things we can do within that. So it might be helping a company on a lean journey to reduce their costs and make themselves more productive and more efficient. It could be on sales and marketing. It could be helping them develop a website so they can grow their channels of sales opportunities. In the workforce engagement, we're seeing a lot of activity, which is where some of these things fit in. We're seeing a lot of companies. I mean, the reality is we have a demographic issue right now in the country. We have an hourglass-shaped demographic population. So, like, I'm an Xer, I believe, and I'm part of the smallest generation in the history of the country.
Oh, wow, okay.
So as the boomers are exiting, finally, and to some extent, COVID also accelerated that process. Many people looked up one day after seeing some people get sick or feeling and said, you know what, I'm done. And so we saw kind of that great resignation accelerate. So as the boomers leave, there's not enough Xers to fill those spots. So and now as we look down, we'll see the millennials and the Zs are coming, but my kind of running joke is it takes 20 years to make a 20-year-old. So you have to, there's a time lag here. So we're seeing a lot of companies really invest in their people. They want to change their culture. They want to make sure people feel like they're part of something more than a job, and they're in a part of a team and part of an opportunity and a career path. So we do a lot of services around that workforce engagement also. So those are kind of the 4 areas in which we work. Automation is a big part as well. And some companies look to automation to solve their workforce issues, and I would caution any manufacturer, automation is a wonderful augmentation to workforce. It is not a substitute for workforce. It changes the job, it upgrades the job, but it doesn't eliminate jobs. In fact, automation historically, no matter which study you ever look at, increases the number of jobs and tends to upscale them, which then they become higher paying and more lucrative. So it's a win-win. So that's where we do a lot of work in those 4 areas.
Okay. Well, we're talking also about the workforce pipeline program, Cindy, and one of those is what's so cool about manufacturing. And we had the opportunity to go out and experience this when you did the awards and look at what some of the youth were able to do. So tell us about this program.
Yes, it is a statewide program. I manage this region, and it really is a career exploration opportunity, kind of like we spoke earlier. The students don't have any idea what manufacturing is, so we pair them. We pair teams of students from middle schools with a manufacturer that's nearby, and they go and they tour, and they take images, they talk to everyone from the new production employee through to the C-suite, and they get a real sense of what is available in manufacturing. The questions that they ask are Very interesting. We actually had one this year where one of the executives was calling in from Denmark.
Wow.
And so he was at a McDonald's in Denmark, so they needed to ask about that. But nonetheless, these are the type of experiences these students are having. They're seeing every type of manufacturing, and I can't tell you that you see the eyes and you see the light bulb going off, and there's nothing like it. So we do that every year. And then at the end of that, we have a regional awards contest for them. And some of those winners actually go to Harrisburg and compete at a state competition.
You know, what I think is so great about this, and when you talk about learning, they're not a passive recipient.
Correct.
They're an active participant. So they get this hands-on. And doing some of the videos that they did, you could tell they love that.
Yeah.
And they made a connection, and they're making relationships too, right?
Absolutely. It really is. The manufacturers come back year after year. They value it as well, and the teachers come back year after year. And this is a free program for the schools. We raise grant dollars, scholarship dollars, sponsorship dollars, and it is just positive win-win-win all around. There's benefits for the teachers. They get out of the classroom and get to see what's really going on in today's manufacturing so they can learn and share. The students, obviously, and then the parents and guardians, they come to the event as well. Our manufacturers are there. It's just a celebration of all things manufacturing.
And it's that ripple effect.
Yeah, it's a ripple
Isn't it?
effect.
It really is. And what is the CTD?
That is a new program we're developing. It's called the Career Test Drive. It is for high school students, rising seniors, who are equipped to go to college academically but may not be sure what they want to do. So we had the opportunity to partner with Millersville University last year, and we took students from the school district of Lancaster, and we put them in the classroom for a week. They built things, they used the equipment, but then we wrapped around career exploration activities. We did a intro to lean activity, and we took them to half a dozen manufacturers and did the tours similar to What's So Cool, but at this level. And then to add on to that, we were able to work with one of our partners, Tooling U, to provide them an option to get an industry recognized credential.
Wow.
And it was 25 hours of online training that the students did, and then they sat for a 2-hour exam. And this was that was optional. And then for some of the students as well, we were able to offer a stipend for them to attend this summer camp. It was 2 weeks. They got to experience life on a college campus, and it was really super informative. Everyone, again, had a great time learning, and they were able to go back and, potentially reconsider the classes they were taking or reconsider the possibility of going to school, whether it's a 4-year or 2-year school, just opportunities that they were not aware of previously.
Wow. There's so many legs on this, Cindy, that it attaches you in different ways,
Yes.
and it really resonates and makes sense.
Yeah.
But partnerships are also key.
Oh,
aren't they?
absolutely. And we work with so many different, we're partnered with schools, K to 12, and then universities as well. Thaddeus Stevens at Beyond the K to 12 for trades. Lancaster Makes is a local organization that helps us. The first Friday of October is Manufacturing Day. I say that with hesitancy because first of all, I think every day is Manufacturing
Right,
Day.
there you
right?
go.
So, and October, we just kind of raise special recognition, and I look at it as the entire month of October as
Okay,
Manufacturing
right.
Month. And so that's a great partner to help get us, other stakeholders, whether it be elected officials or schools or whomever might be interested out on tours to see some of the different exciting things happening within the manufacturing sector.
Yeah.
So that's a key partner that we work with as well, along with the local Economic Development Corporation here. They've been a key partner. I feel like the word ecosystem is overused, but I don't have a better one yet. But we can't do it all, but we do have access to most manufacturers. If we can find those other resources to give them the right connections to most efficiently improve their businesses, that's what we want to do. And sometimes we're the direct solution. Other times it's finding them an outside party that's the best solution. But that's what we're about, is growing that sector.
Yeah, so Lancaster Makes.
Yes, Lancaster Makes is several years in the making now. Couldn't resist.
Yes. Of course, yes.
They are a group that really coordinates tours between manufacturers and schools. Schools can reach out to Lancaster Makes as an intermediary and really start to efficiency around this. So not all the schools are calling all the manufacturers and all of that. So it's really almost a clearinghouse for some of these requests from schools. And then we're also an active partner with Career Ready Lancaster. And that is the ecosystem for the county that people who are interested in workforce development, schools attend that, employers attend that, nonprofits, anyone in this space who is trying to connect students with potential careers comes to those meetings as well. It's a very large group.
Wow. Well, there's so much to learn, and we can go to mantec.org to find out all these things we're talking about. You can also watch for what's so cool about manufacturing here on the station, too. We air that show a lot because it's really good. So we just need to wrap things up and give me some final thoughts, Bruce. Just some quick final thoughts.
I think manufacturing is magic. The taking of raw material and turning into something that betters humanity is one of the most exciting things you can be a part of. And so my wrap up would be to anyone out there, parent, student, if you're going to work every day and thinking this is not for me, maybe you need to check out this sector because you get to be a part of something every day. You get to walk into a store and go, hey, I made that. There's a company here in the county that made the heat shield for the Mars rover. They literally were cheering as that thing landed. The pride in being part of making something that betters the world it's for me a rush, and I think I'd love to see as many people as possible sharing that. And so that, go seek it out, find a local manufacturer. They want you to be a part of it. It's so exciting. It's magic.
Yeah, and start when you're very young, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just check it out, Cindy, right?
Agree.
Okay. Thank you both so much for being here and sharing all this information about manufacturing, because it's really big here in Lancaster and it's important in our country as well. And you're doing great work. So mantec.org. Check it out. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us today, too. I'm Diane Dayton, reminding you to look behind the lines. You might be surprised what you find.